Axis deer were first brought to the islands in the late 1860s. Now they number in the tens of thousands. This is without a doubt the land of opportunities. I've been lucky enough to tag a few with my rifle and even a couple with my bow. I recently set up my new Hoyt VTM 31, and it's time to get in the field to see if I can bag myself an Axis deer or two. And welcome to Hawaii. Got my bow right here. We are just starting a archery axis deer hunt. I'm with some good friends of mine. It's going to be a good group of guys out here bow hunting axis deer for the week. We've got the new bow set up. We've got a tripod over here, and this is just kind of my view right now. I'm in this little makeshift blind. Just kind of doing a blind sit for the morning, just that way this afternoon we can go and kind of get the lay of the land and check out the property. But he said we're welcome to do spot and stalk, sit water holes, etc. But today we're just kind of sticking close to each other. We've got like a wall of us down this old dirt road, and the deer are moving from the thick stuff back into these hills. So fingers crossed that something's come through. Should be a fun little video for you guys, and hopefully after a few days we get some axis deer down. So let's see if something walks by. Dude, what happened there, bro?
Oh, I smoked a giant buck. It's weird, you can't see any blood. I see hair right there though, see?
Yeah.
I thought that's what happened. There's no blood or anything. I think I caught him with the fletch. Because like, when I saw the arrow, it was flying totally straight, and then it went sideways, but I could tell it didn't
So
go
maybe
through.
nicked.
I think I caught him with the fletch on the tail end, but...
Okay, look at this, guys.
It comes through here.
Here's the tracks. Ben's over there by his stuff. I'm right behind this bush and never even saw him.
You never saw him after I shot or anything?
Well, once you shot, he ran that, like, I just looked through the bush and it was just dust.
Yeah,
I heard your shot. Well, pretty fun for a quick morning hunt. We all just kind of sat this old road, and all the action was actually up here by Ben. So a big herd scooted around Ben just over the berm where Ben couldn't see them. This big buck came right out in the open, and I was just sitting on my butt when he came by. I couldn't see him. Here comes the guys. We're gonna hop in the truck and just drive the property, kind of check this place out. You get 2 shed nuts in Hawaii, and before you know it, we're looking for sheds and not hunting. So Ben is trying to accomplish his 20th state, which would be Hawaii, if he can find himself an axis deer shed on his United Sheds of America shed hunting tour. We're cruising through these trees. I've got Colin with me right here, and this is just proof of the damage that these deer do to this habitat. Like, look at this place. There is not a single plant on the ground. Trails everywhere, and about as high as they can reach is the only place that there's any leaves on the tree. The place is just destroyed.
It's ravished. It's insane. You can see why they want to come through here though and get over to those hills and, you know, go eat.
Yeah, this was the path right here. This is the top end of the property, and Ben was sitting on the top, and he had the most action. Colin could see that buck walking in the whole time. Apparently I was just sitting there in that blind where I was. If I was sitting down, I couldn't really see. If I was standing, I was like standing in the wide open. So right when I sat down, it was like 30 seconds after sitting down that Ben took a shot at that buck. Dude, check it out. All right, shed, he's been busy stacking. He's marked off Hawaii.
We got her knocked out. I mean, 10 minutes probably, walking through this one little stand of trees. It's like the best kind of Easter egg hunting.
They all blend in.
They do.
The dirt really gets to them.
Yep.
I've had this buck just blowing. I think I'm within 200, 250 yards of him. And he's just calling, I don't know what they call it, but he's just going off. So I've had to make a big loop to get the wind in my favor. I'm trying to backdoor him. That evening hunt was a blast, but unfortunately I could never catch up to the buck and his does before they moved off. However, I was lucky enough to stumble on this nice, fresh Axis shed antler, which I love these things. I got a great collection here at home now. They're just about as red as the dirt. They blend in like crazy, but that one, it's a pretty solid one. Nice buck. I'd like to shoot one like that here. You can never go out to Hawaii without hitting up the local food trucks. It was pretty much every day, midday, we'd head into town and hit this local food truck. Most of us getting this poke bowl. I must have eaten about 5 to 6 of these things throughout the entire trip, and they're by far my favorite meal out there, just fresh tuna over a blanket of rice with some spicy mayo. This was pretty much the daily program after lunch, getting ready for the PM hunt. We would all pile up into this truck and head out to country. On this particular evening, Ben and I decided to get dropped off early and hit some higher country and actually hike into some of these hills. And that's when we discovered this canyon. After seeing this place, this is the last place I hunted and the only place I hunted the rest of the trip. It's like we're hunting mountain axis up here. Oh shoot. They're right below us blowing, dang it. They're down there somewhere. Yeah, right here. Yeah. Oh, they're there, right there. Alright guys, I just split up from Ben. We've got this giant canyon to hunt, so we decided to just split off from each other and see if we can't create some opportunity that way. This place is loaded with tracks. It's loaded with deer. We've seen 25 or so already, so it could be a fun night. Not could be, it's gonna be a fun night, guys. I'll do my best to film, but here's what we're working with. Got all that cool country. I wanted to share these next few clips with you, even though it didn't really turn into a shot opportunity, but I was walking down the wash and suddenly I look up and there is a giant axis buck walking right towards me. This is just captured on the GoPro on my head mount in slow motion. You can see the buck. He was within shooting range. It was hard to get the exact range, but unfortunately I was never able to get a clear shot. After that buck bounced out, I decided to just continue down the wash because I had seen some does. And if I had to guess, that buck was probably leaving this herd of deer, probably pushed off by this larger buck. Once I saw that there was a nice buck in, I just slipped in and tried the best I could to get an arrow in him. Guys, that was freaking sweet. I saw these deer from the other side when I was stalking what I thought was a bedded buck, which is just a head and antlers on a rock. And from over there, I saw these does down here. I didn't see a buck with them at the time, but I started walking this wash bed down. I saw a big old white face, white neck. It's like, that's a buck. I shot for 40, but I think he was more like 43, 44, and I aimed low, thinking he was gonna drop. He didn't even drop. They had no clue I was there. So I missed, and I got my arrow. Everything's bad on it except the broadhead could be like an extra backup, but it hit a rock and bounced from where my bow is down there. It bounced all the way up here. But I'm glad I found my arrow, guys. This has been freaking sweet. I was walking down the bottom earlier, and a buck was just walking up the bottom right to me. 40 yards. No shot on that one. So freaking close. I think this canyon would be a pretty good spot to sit. Maybe even all day in here because it's just a lot of deer moving around. But I've got my arrow now. I'm gonna start working down the ridge where I think more deer are. I think Ben's down there too, so I'm gonna just sneak down the bottom. Super quiet, but guys, we were in the freaking zone. That was fun. Well, I just found that sweet water hole. That is freaking pounded with tracks. So many tracks. That water's clearly been used a lot, and I think this would be a killer morning spot. I'm just scouting out little areas to sit and have a clear lane to shoot, and there's not many. This is the only clearing, which means the deer would have to get to the water and maybe start filing up. And if you let them get a drink, they started jumping those rocks, maybe you could sit somewhere in here and pick them off after they get some water. So doing some scouting. This is a pretty good spot right here. You're freaking close too. Look at that. That water's just down behind this tree trunk. So it's another good spot for a morning sit right here. Good morning, guys. Welcome to day 3. It's really early. I'm headed to that water hole I showed you guys yesterday. I have just a crazy good feeling about it. The place was tracked out. There were a lot of deer obviously in the canyon. A couple bucks that I got to see with my eyes. So I'm gonna get down here about another 500 yards. I'm gonna get set up in the dark, and then I'm gonna sit as still as possible. I think I got her. Well, that worked out perfect. I had 2 does just coming straight at me, and they turned broadside. Definitely coming to the water. I shot, and my arrow blew right through her because I saw it ricochet up the hill. So maybe I should go check that out real quick. Well, I walked over there and got my arrow. Full pass through, but parts of it smell like stomach matter. So I think we got back of the lungs, at least one lung, possibly some guts. So I'm gonna give her some time, but not too much because it gets warm up here. We don't want her to sit too long. So maybe 30 minutes. We'll go try to recover her, but fingers crossed we can get her, get some camp meat, back to camp. And it sounds like so far that's the first deer that's been shot. Well, it's been over an hour, so I'm gonna go try to recover this doe. I didn't see any blood on her tracks yet, but all I've done is just gone right here and found my arrow. So hopefully there's good blood and I got something to follow. It's kind of crazy. I saw the second doe come up here, and she was sure acting funny, like right here. So I decided to come to this tree to check it out, and sure enough, she's piled up right here. We're gonna have to drag her in the shade, take care of her real quick, because it's getting hot. So we got a nice shady spot right here. There's already a ton of flies on her, so we're gonna get moving. I'm not gonna waste any time. You guys can see it right there. Really, really pretty doe, but we gotta get her going, guys. Take care of her real quick right here. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Perfect. Nice little doe back strap. That's gonna eat well tonight. I'm just leaving the carcass behind right now. I've got the entire deer in one Hush game bag all quartered up. So it'll be nice when I get back to the house. It'll already be quartered. Super clean. I always try my best to do a really good job when it comes to cutting up the meat. One thing I brought on this trip, which I think is going to be super helpful, not for just me, but the whole crew, is a vacuum sealer and a bunch of bags. So today, I'm going to spend the afternoon cutting this up and taking care of it. But right now, I'm just trying to pull out of this area. This is where it all went down. This is the path she came down. And then I just shot her right there. Like a dongle thing?
I don't know how I forgot that. I usually bring it with me everywhere I go, literally.
Was Ryan that one?
We gotta look around. Somebody's got it.
There we go.
Why I wouldn't bring that?
Time to cut some meat.
What is this for?
That is a card reader, but
We got the deer deboned, not completely butchered, but as you can see, I got it all into just like muscle groups. Little bit of trim when I thawed out to eat it, but I'm gonna vacuum seal it. We got this all the way from home. You can just stuff a bunch of meat in it. This is mostly front shoulder. You can see that's just like peeled right off the shoulder blade. Both of those. So I think I'm just gonna throw those in a bag I can get home and put it through the grinder. Make a bunch of burger. But this thing is coming in clutch. Some of these little pieces. That way we can get more meat home. Colin's over there grubbing on a freaking killer breakfast right there.
Malachi's in the Bible.
that's true.
Okay, so that's all grind. I wish I had a Sharpie.
I got a Sharpie.
I do got it, actually.
We have everything but an SD card reader for
Makes
the
sense.
laptop.
Some ham and eggs and...
Throw that in that little tray. Shut it down.
You ever had spam before?
Vac and seal. So vacuum. Sometimes I like to kind of assist it a little, but guys, grocery shopping out here. We got some back straps and the tenderloin marinating for dinner, maybe tonight or tomorrow. So, cheers to good meat. Man, I love having this thing. I'm glad I brought it. It was the last thing I added to my luggage was this vacuum sealer, but check it out. Boom. Everything's done. That was the last package. So I think half of us are gonna cruise to town, get some more groceries. Half of us are gonna stick around. I'm gonna cook some breakfast, or Colin's gonna cook me breakfast. All right, this kind of guy you want at camp right here. Cook Colin.
Hunting camp cooking, baby.
And throwing on some toast. We got some eggs in the pan. Very hot, huh? Dang. Thanks for doing that, man.
You're welcome, brother.
What you got? What you got?
Boys, today is the day where animals die. I can feel it. We've been kind of taking it easy on them, but we're coming down to the last couple days of our hunt here in Hawaii, and we're gonna get it done. Me and Seth are gonna head up, sit this water. Eric's going bomber into the back country because that's all he knows how to do. It's every time I hunt with Eric, he's like, what's the most difficult to access place on the property? That's where I'll be. So it's gonna be a fun night. We're all sitting in water. I think Eric's sitting in a spot back there. We're gonna be in the box. Give us a minute, we'll be in them.
PM shift. Pretty hot today. So a lot of us are sitting on water. I'm gonna go sit the water where I shot my doe. Sit there until dark. I can't believe how sweaty you get running these ridges. It's not like it's a super far hike, but by the time I get there, I'm dripping. And I don't even consider myself like a sweaty person. But hopefully we get good wind. The wind's been killing us. I think she just crashed. I think I heard her take a tumble. Another nice doe. They came in from below, so I had to stand up and shoot through just a very small window, but I'm pretty sure I got her. I think that one passed right through her too. Well, we got ourselves another doe. And I know she crashed because I heard her. There she is. The water hole isn't 40 yards from here, guys. Man, she was quartered away hard, and I slipped it right in the back, and it came out her front chest, it looks like. Didn't even have to follow blood, just found her up here. I think that little spike is just right there. Yeah, we got a little spike right here. We're gonna wrap up the evening hunt. I actually brought the doe up here and sat like an extra 45 minutes, see if we could double up, but I have her down here just covered in some Hush game bags. I am going to break down my backpack and just put her on the frame full body and carry her out here so the carcass isn't here causing any issues for the next couple hunts down here. So these XO K4s, you can take the pack off and get straight to the frame. There's two really big straps with nice heavy duty buckles. I'm gonna strap her to those and just beast mode out of here. It's gonna be sweaty, I know it is, but I want to get her out of here full body, and I don't want to be down here in the dark and make the guys wait for me. So let's see if this backpack and myself and my legs can carry up this doe. Well, I can't see when this is on, so I'm gonna stop. I've got the doe with me, full body, just because I didn't want it sitting there for the morning hunt. So we'll get it up on the top to the truck and maybe take care of it at the truck and then finish at the house. But I want someone to have a good hunt here tomorrow morning. Might be me, might be somebody else, but I didn't want her there, so we're packing her out. It's not too bad, it's just kind of wobbly, and I'm sweating to death out here with all this humidity. Not used to that, so we'll get out of here though. 30 minutes maybe. Here we go. Got her to camp, hung her up, and quartered her up, and cooked her up.
Got a little bit of tendy chunks here that EC was pulling, so we threw them straight on the grill. Sometimes this is a bit of a gamble. Stuff can be tough if it doesn't go through rigor mortis, but I don't know. Want to do a taste test on it?
We're gonna eat these little guys, yeah. We're gonna cut them up with some rice. I'm gonna do like teriyaki steak rice. Well, here's the program, just like the other one. We got it home. Well, I quartered the other one out in the field, but we got this one back, quartered it. I'm already butchering it up into just like muscle groups, and then I'll vacuum seal these. So this is some more hind. I'm just kind of getting lazy, I guess, on the second one. I was trimming up a lot of the other stuff before and then vacuum sealing it, but right now, I just want to get cleaned, eat, and go to bed. So we're just gonna do big muscle groups. We still have another hind quarter, front shoulder here, and then the back strap. Unfortunately, got her in the back strap on the impact, so we lost some back strap and we lost the front shoulder. But this stuff is so nice, so clean. But I'll see you guys in the morning. I don't know if I'm gonna sit that water hole or someone else will. I think it's a good sit, so someone definitely ought to go back. Killer time here at Axis Camp. It's really fun hanging out with this whole group. Eat, get to bed, and we'll do it again. See you guys in the morning. Glassing up here, and as expected, there's deer pretty much everywhere you look. There's a group of does right here. There's a nice buck up above him, but he just behind some brush. But I am filming these deer right now through my binoculars using my cell phone attached to the Ollin snapshot system. So this is a Digiscoping system. This is the new Bino adapter that's coming out in the summer of 23. So if you're watching this, guys, it's either coming soon or it's already dropped, I'm not sure. But Bino's adapters make it sweet because I don't like to pack a big spotting scope up here, but I definitely don't mind packing up my binoculars on my chest pack as usual and a small tripod. So super fun getting video through this thing. There's all kinds of deer out, and oh, there's the buck. I'm gonna move this and get the buck, but this Digiscoping setup is sweet. Use code HUSH at checkout, and the link is in the description box. You always get a discount, at least 10%, so check it out. Now let's film this buck, see if we can get set up. these does. If I can slide through the shadows of these trees, keep the sun at my back, I might be able to make a move on him. They're just feeding around in this little opening. I've heard this buck every day make calls up here. I think it's the buck that I missed. It'd be sweet to get another chance at him. Going in with the GoPro. Gonna be super stealthy, so wish me luck. Alright guys, I thought this would be a good time to kind of pop in here and do some commentary. Just like you saw, the footage through the binoculars was shot across a fairly small draw. And I knew once I started to elevate and get out of this bottom right here, if those deer were able to just stay busy and stay put and give me enough time to kind of cross this little cut, I would have a perfect opportunity at this buck. And I got up to this area, and you can see that green bush right there on the far left of the screen. And I was like, if I can get there and have that clay bench kind of hide me, I knew I'd be within bow range, and I knew I'd be pretty dang close. So I started to sneak up there. Everything was going perfect. I was telling myself not to rush. I was somewhat rushing in hopes that they would not leave. And right when I got up here, I was unaware of some deer that could see me at this point. And as soon as they called, I just really felt urgency. You can hear them right here. Right there, I go into panic mode. And instead of playing it cool and getting around this bush to get a range on this buck, I was basically hoping it's now or never, and if I'm going to get a shot, I might as well just draw back. So I'm at full draw, and I come around, and this deer's body language is not even nervous whatsoever. And I never got a solid range, and I simply shot low and missed the buck. Killed me. This one killed me. This was my best opportunity at a nice buck the entire week. I'd had multiple opportunities on bucks, and I had missed one, and this was a layup. But even with bow hunting, if everything is not perfect, if you don't have your range, it's probably best just to not take the shot. Come on, man. Dang it, that was freaking perfect. My gosh. I suck. They got away. Complete miss. Shot low. And I was just listening. And the next buck that made a noise is up here. And he's got some does. It looks like they're going to go up and out. So they're up on the top of this mountain. Up here. I think I got to go give it a try at least. Oh, there's some more deer right there. Just going to sit here and study what they do there in this really thick patch of trees right on the edges. Well, I felt pretty fortunate enough to locate some more deer and another nice buck. These deer were way up above me in elevation. So right here, I am just making a big push on the very last day, the very last little section of the evening light, trying to get myself in position to get a shot off, hopefully on a nice buck. This was actually a super cool scenario. I finally got up to the elevation, and then I traversed over to where these deer had last been seen. I knew the buck was somewhat headed up into the direction to the top, near a saddle where he could eventually pop over. But at this point, I had no clue if they had stayed put or if the buck had finally moved on. So I'm sneaking over to this edge, and I knew that these deer would be within bow range anywhere from 50 to 75 yards. After I got my rangefinder out, I just got comfortable with all the different locations and the different distances just in case this buck came out. It was a super cool scenario. I sat there for quite a while, almost till dark, and I watched all the does somewhat feed and split apart. And I finally came to the conclusion that the buck did indeed make it over the top. After a little while of just sitting here watching these does at 50 to 53 yards, I did make one last attempt over the saddle right before it was dark, and sure enough, the buck did make it over there, but because I was aggressive, I blew him out. Super fun stalk. I didn't want to take a doe at this point, but the hunt was over. Well, that's it, guys. Couldn't make it happen on a big buck today, which was the last day for Ben and myself. That's all right. We had a heck of a time, guys. I missed 3 shots on buck axis deer. Didn't hit any of them. And had a blast. I'll tell you what, we had a killer group of guys out here. We got Ryan Mickler. He's on the Order of Man podcast. Rick is out here, super knowledgeable on business. I'd really love a chance to pick his brain on business and finance. And then we got Seth, Ryan's son, Brecken. Colin Cottrell was here. He went home early. And of course, Ben. So killer group, like-minded people, love to hunt. The whole hunt was just a good time. Everything from the hunting in the field to hanging out at the house or even back to town. So hope you guys enjoyed it. We got 2 does. I'm gonna go vacuum seal the second doe and do what I can to freeze it. We fly out late tonight. So for those of you who are wondering about traveling with meat, I got it all vacuum sealed, frozen, and I'll throw it on a YETI cooler bag. And I'm probably just gonna do a check bag because I don't want to haul it through all my layovers and stuff. But killer time. This is the first hunt with my new Hoyt. This is the VTM 31. Got 2 does under its belt. So that's a good start going into the fall hunts. But I hope you guys enjoyed this hunt. Let me know if you did in the comment section. It's always hard, but it's always fun to film solo. So I hope you guys appreciate the kill shots we got on camera and the other effort that we put into trying to kill a buck. So appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check out all our merch at Hushin.com. We'll see you on the next video, guys.
It's all rested up. Strap, 10